Hey guys, so here's my little project. S4 V8, owned it for over 7 years, 8 years or so. Been a great vehicle to me. No major issues, just maintenance, regular maintenance. It's time has come where she hit the 200,000 mark. Water pump is started leaking. Oil consumption got a little worse than before, which I'm not taking any chances. We'll just do it all, replace water pump, thermostat, PCV assembly, clean the carbon of the intake valve while I have the supercharger off. Got all my goodies here, my new intake system as well from Integrated Engineering, which I had one before. That's more of kind of like a custom one, just to hear a little bit of a supercharger whine. I like the fact that there was a carbon fiber air duct inlet, goes in the throttle body. But looks like I'm gonna have just a silicone one now. Also coolant fluids, the swabbing tool to drain the coolant, obviously. I got the catch can from ACCESSORY tuning. After the intake valves are clean, see how bad the carbon buildup on it. I'm gonna go and just have the battery on charge. Car has been parked over 3 weeks, waiting for parts, I think over a month or so. Battery was a bit weak, so just recharging the battery and going to scan it quickly. Make sure we ain't got no codes in the system. And we'll go from there. And we'll start working on her. The goal is to put a level on jack stands, drain all the coolant out, put it in service position, and work at it. We'll put on the scanner here. I'll get back to you guys here shortly. All right, so the scan has been completed. Let's have a look before we start everything. We'll only go full code here. Recharge the battery overnight. Got the VCDS scanner, makes it a lot easier. Best investment. That's just a door handle on the right front. I know that its sensor has to be replaced. It's a bit pricey. I'll do that later, but as soon as I clear the code, it goes away. But when I start the car and turn it back off, the code will come back, and the handles, door sensors won't work to touch. Control module for auxiliary heater. That I've seen this code before, and done a little bit of research on that code, which I'm not really concerned about it now. Steering wheel status. We got the steering wheel here. Control steering, controlling steering, no signal, intermittent. Okay, maybe something new. Clear it. Could be due to the battery was weak. The battery was weak yesterday when I started it, so I'll do that. So reset and it should be good to go. We'll look at it after the fact when we're done the work. 12 volt voltage, okay. September 13th, energy management. Okay, well, come on, that was good. We'll skip that. Everything else is clean. Well, make sure that everything is good to go. After I'm done all the work on it, we'll go for a drive. And hopefully everything is good except for the door handle. Auto track keeps coming back. Auxiliary heater, which we're not really concerned about it right now. Alright, let's crack down at it. Alright guys, This is the progress here. I'm not taking videos of, I don't have any ways of holding the cameras or anything like that. We're doing step by step. It's pretty straightforward. As long as you take your time, make sure you disconnect all your vacuum lines and stuff, and the electrical connectors in the back. There's another vacuum line in the back that's hidden. I pre-marked all of mine just so I know where they go. But yeah, other than that, it's pretty simple. Just take your time. Oh Jesus. Oh, it's like I broke a fucking... So this is the old PCV. Jesus. Here's the new one. I just have to transfer the bracket and the hose. It looks like it's a different design here. There's got like a little spider web thingy. Here there's none. The progress on cylinder number 1. It looks much better. Come on, focus. There we go. It's a lot cleaner. I mean, it won't get the picture. That's a full can of CRC clean right there. Alright guys, quick update here. I haven't had the chance to film it while I'm doing the work. Way too busy working on this thing, cleaning the intake valves. That's day 3. In between, had to do things. Not constantly working on it, but I am spending quite a few hours through the days. This is day 3 where we're cleaning everything else. The intake valves were all completed yesterday. They're all cleaned up. This is my valley of where the PCV sits. Injectors are all out. Everything is plugged. Intake valves are clean. Let me grab the flashlight here. All right. So, finish the intake valve cleaning. I mean, it's satisfying enough for me. I won't be able to get it 100% obviously, but 90% of that stuff is all out, which I'm pretty happy. On this bank, it wasn't as bad on that bank, which was fine, but the second bank here, it was really bad. So as you can see, a little bit of still like a little bit on there, but nothing close to the gunk that was on the valves. Oh, there's still a little bit of fluid in there. I'll try and suck it out. Yeah, so you can see there's still that cleaner in there. Thought I had it all out, but I guess we'll just suck it more. Yeah, also a little bit of fluid on here. It's a pretty messy job, but you can get it done as long as you have the patience and time and the love to put into something you like. So I put all of my love into it. I'll make sure I'll take my time. I want to make sure it's all done right. I'm just not doing only the intake valve, I'm just doing everything. Might as well. I figure if I have the supercharger out, if I do have it out, I might as well do everything else, and I have it on service position, so it gives you a lot more room to access belt, water pump, whatnot. The coolant hose that goes right across here, I cracked the little nipple that goes right over here. The hose, it's very brittle, but I guess I didn't pay attention, and I kind of rested the supercharger on it, and I guess I cracked it. $180 later, Canadian obviously. So pipe goes all the way around here. You've got the tensioner is out, the idler have been out as well, and as well as the supercharger idler. And now it's just the progress of cleaning everything around and starting to put her back together. Once this is done, we'll move up here and do the valley. Before I bolt the supercharger on, I'll make sure I have everything, PCV, fuel rails, coolant line, injectors and all that. Once I'm done here, I won't put the supercharger back yet, which I'm going to jump and do the valve covers on both sides. We got plugs and also valve covers, and then I'll do an oil change as well. And the last but not least will be to flush and change the fluid in the supercharger, which I'm still waiting for it to arrive from ECS Tuning. Alrighty, I'll give you an update later, guys. Alright, so quick update here, guys. Took the time of cleaning pretty much everything behind all the residue grease and a little bit of oil. So took all my time to clean all that. Also bought a new tensioner, which I installed the tensioner in the idler already. I'll be installing a water pump next, and then the T-stat. But I'm pretty satisfied the way it's looking so far. It's pretty clean, and also the whole valley is clean, so that's why I got that paper on there. All the intake valves are closed. They're plugged with paper towel, just in case nothing falls in there. Yeah, so next step is to put the water pump T-stat on. Then I'll have the coolant cross pipe, they call that goes from there right behind right there, and goes all around on top and to the other side. So doing the pump T-stat, and then I'll put the hose over, and I'll work my way, probably putting the belt, just a serpentine belt, so that way all of that will be done. And then we'll move on to the vacuum pump. It's leaking. I got a whole kit for resealing it. Oh, coming along very good. Pretty excited. It's looking really nice and clean. So can do a bit more cleaning there. Pretty clean there. Yeah, other than that, it's amazing. It's looking really nice. All the parts I've got, it's pretty much from, I was working a little bit on the budget, but it's a bit of Rock Auto parts and ECS tuning parts. This gasket kit, Audi doesn't sell the rebuild kit, which is a gasket right over here and an O-ring right here. All they sell is that gasket. As you can see, it's a orange kind of looking bronze gasket right behind that goes into the block. But in this case, I don't see, it doesn't look like my gasket is leaking in the back of it. Looks like it's the seal in the front and the O-ring that's leaking badly, as you can see. It's all around there. So I bought this kit from RKX from the States. It's a really nice kit. They also have the torque specs on the plate and the cylinder block itself. So it's a really nice kit, pretty much for all the supercharged engines with those vacuum pumps. Yeah, so Audi don't sell that gasket. The gasket that they sell is this, which I ordered that from ECS Tuning. Thought, okay, I'll probably do the gasket, and then I did a little bit more research and found that these guys, RKX Tech, supplies the whole rebuild kit, because Audi doesn't supply that kit. And if you want to replace the seal on here, Audi says, well, we gotta replace the whole pump. Well, I'm not spending $400 or $300 for the pump when the pump is fine. It's just an O-ring on here and gasket that seals it on here. So pretty straightforward. 3 bolts holding it. This pump comes out. I'll try and unclip the little clips here on the side. On both sides there's clips, so I don't have to take the factory clamp. And even though I do, I still have to remove it because the O-ring will be on the inside. Anyways, I'll give you an update later on. I'm not taking much videos. I'm just trying to work at it and take my time and going by step. I'm in no rush doing this. Taking my time so I can get it all done right and not rush through it and not forget anything. So I'm pretty happy the way it's coming along. All right, let's have a look. We got this is about 90%. I mean, It was literally chunks on there. So I'd say I'm pretty satisfied the way it looks. About 90% off. The walls as well. The walls, I mean, scraped them as much as I could. And yeah, this bank had really bad gunk buildup. But it looks fine to me. I'm pretty satisfied. Here, got the injectors in with the PCV, all bolted up. Got all the injector lubed with the clean engine oil, and also forgot to take a video of the dividers. They were really dirty, nasty with carbon buildup. This is obviously after the fact. It's been cleaned. So just putting them back together, and then we'll be putting the intake plenum on and work at it. Keep going. Do the finish this thing up here. Not putting the supercharger yet because I'm still waiting for supercharger fluid. The oil that I ordered hasn't arrived yet. I'm going to be changing the oil in it. Still have to do the gaskets on it, on the throttle body, and the supercharger intake inlet, or whatever they call that. But yeah, it's looking pretty good. I'm very happy the way it's coming along. And these dividers also only can go one way. It's facing down this way and then facing out this way. And that's how it's supposed to go. Bam. Alrighty, we'll keep pounding at it. Quick update here. Working on the valve covers, gaskets. This side is done. Doing the other side now. This side was leaking pretty significantly compared to this side here. This side has just a little bit, as you can see there. Can you get the door, honey, please? You can see a little oil residue on the end there. Other than that, it's pretty clean. And I'm pretty surprised how clean it is inside here. Every 5,000 kilometers, liquid moly oil change. Keeps it squeaky clean. So here's the valve cover. As you can see, the gasket is, there's almost nothing left of it. It's pretty flat. There's the valve cover. Pretty clean on the inside. On here it's not as bad. On this side, just a little bit. Other than that, it's pretty clean. The other side was really bad. I got carried away and didn't take a video. So here's the passenger side. Not as bad. Some say the passenger side is the one that leaks the worst, but I guess mine was the other way around, as the driver leaked pretty badly. Got our new gasket here. L-ring, made in Italy. Alrighty guys, so the update is still waiting on the supercharger fluid. That should arrive in a couple days, maybe tomorrow or so. It's Monday, the 23rd November today. Coming from the US. obviously from the ECS tuning. It is taking a little bit of time. I mean, there are two little bottles of 150 milliliter each. That's all I have left. Other than that, everything else is done on this baby. I've changed the gaskets on upper and lower, both of them, as well as the bypass valve. I changed the gaskets on the throttle body, both gaskets on there. There's a spacer that goes in between. Cleaned everything up. I cleaned the inside while I had that off. A little bit of, not really much, but just a little bit of kind of like carbon or exhaust and fluid. Anyhow, got this all cleaned up, and also didn't realize my supercharger was kind of old, but thought I'd probably use it for a little bit more. However, I did find a couple cracks on the belt. So there's one here and one there. So I just might as well order a new one. 30 bucks. I'm not putting it back on. And then I'll once I get the fluid, putting it back, the supercharger. Once the supercharger back on the car, we'll be bolting it back up. All basically the front bumper support, the service position. We'll put it back on, and then we'll work on the catch can from ECS tuning, and as well as the IE integrated engineering cold air intake. I got the wife's SQ5 here, just running it. I've just changed the oil on it. Just kind of did a little bit of comparisons between the SQ5 with the 2015 compared to 2011 S4 supercharged. We just tweaked it a little bit, not much of a difference. Notice that they don't have the power steering pump, which is on the bottom. That's the AC pump. Power steering is on the bottom there. This one only has the AC. It's fully electronic. This one still has a fluid. The SQ5 don't have fluid. I've noticed they only have 4 vent tubes on top instead of 6 vent tubes that goes into on top of the supercharger. But other than that, it's pretty much the same, very similar. The V8 S4, this is the V8.5 SQ5, but pretty much the same. But I also have something to go back to. If I forgot something, I can always cheat by looking on this baby. But yeah, this is how we're doing so far. But yeah, the quick breakdown on what I've done so far. Okay guys, so quick breakdown on what have been done so far. You're probably hearing the SQ5 running there, but I'm just warming it up. Did the oil change, want to make sure the oil level is good before I kick it out. Anyhow, I've done the vacuum pump rebuild kit. Changed the O-ring on here, replaced the gasket on the back from RKX Tech from the US, as well as the O-ring on here. I replaced the idler for the belt, as well as the tensioner on the belt. As you can see, it's a new tensioner. Before I put it all back together, I cleaned all the coolant residue, a little bit of grease residue, and oil residues from the pump. It was all greased up and lots of oil on there. So I cleaned all of that, put a new idler pulley. Sorry guys. So I put a rebuild kit on the vacuum pump, from RKX Tech Auto, I think it's called. Very nice kit, not expensive. It was about $40 shipped to my door. O-ring around here and O-ring here in the gasket. Really nice quality gasket, better than the factory one. Also replaced the tensioner. Also replaced the idler pulley on the back for the accessory belt or serpentine belt, whoever calls them differently, drive belt. Also changed the supercharger idler. Didn't like the way it looked. I got a new belt, obviously, going all around. Everything nice and clean all around there. The main reason why this job was the main purpose for it was because the water pump was leaking. The water pump was leaking from the top a little bit, but the bottom of it, which right behind it, is where all the fluid was leaking. Right behind, close to the tensioner and all in the back of it. So what I've done is basically just replace the water pump and decided to do everything at once because of about 200 kilometers on the vehicle. It's about 195,000 kilometers and not miles. Also had to replace the coolant pipe that went across because I broke that little thingy, little peep thing. Replace all of that, new gaskets, new sensor with new O-ring. Sensor wasn't as bad. I mean, I don't know if it was bad or not. I just figure I'm going to replace it. Thermostat goes right underneath the pipe there. Replace the thermostat. Also, all of the intake valve, as you know, they're all been cleaned. While the intake valves were cleaned, the intake plan was out. I did take the opportunity to replace all the seals, the spacers, and the O-ring on the injectors because I bought the whole kit, so I'm decided might as well, if I got the kit, I'm going to replace all of it. Also, they had clips that goes right on the top. You can see those nice looking silver clips right there on top of the injector. Replace all of those. Intake plenum that sits right on the cylinder. The gaskets have been replaced. The gaskets on top here have been replaced. Also, the PCV assembly have been replaced as well. The PCV, the gasket was nasty how flat it was, and I don't know if my oil was leaking into the coolant was leaking into the oil, but I know my oil consumption was really bad compared to what it was before. Every 1,500 to 2,500 or 2,000 kilometers, I had to top up a liter of oil. Since we've done the SQ5 PCV, I haven't had to top up even once oil into that every 5,000 K. So I do every 5,000 K, liquid moly, fully synthetic oil. And with this one, I would have to top it up at least twice before I get to my oil change. So I might as well decided, due to the age of the vehicle and the mileage, I'm just going to do it all right. And I don't want to cut corners. If you do want to cut corners, then it's up to you. You have to realize sometimes you got to pay to play, especially when you're driving a nice piece of machine like this. That's my opinion. Everybody have different opinions. I've replaced the valve cover gaskets as well, cleaned everything all around it, all the oil residues on both sides. While I had the valve cover gaskets out, I did do the plugs as well. I've gone about 55,000 kilometers since last time I've done the plugs, the spark plugs. Oil change has been done. After all of this has been done and clean, I did obviously an oil change to get all the brake cleaner, whatnot, all the cleaner for the GDI clean if leaked in the cylinders or whatnot. Anyhow, I did that. And also replacing the supercharger oil. That's the last thing that's left. All the gasket on the throttle body and the supercharger plenum or the bypass valve gaskets have been replaced, as well as the gaskets on here. Everything's been cleaned. I'm just waiting for the fluid for this baby here. Once we replace the fluid, she'll be ready to go back on. And can't wait to get this started, to have the cold air intake on there, the IE intake, and as well as the baffle catch can from ECS Tuning. Then we'll get cracking on it. So hopefully it's here by tomorrow, and then we'll have the finished results by probably end of this week or before the end of the week, depending on how quick I get the belt and my fluid. Anyhow, we'll touch base later, guys. Thanks for watching. All right, guys, so a quick update here. Still waiting on some parts. It's been a few days now, 2-3 days or so. I haven't received my supercharger fluid yet, the oil. Still waiting on that. And also I've ordered the double pulleys, stage 3 or stage 2. Everybody calls it different. Some people says it's a stage 3 with double pulley and an intake and an intercooler. I don't have the intercooler. I have the IE intake, which I haven't put it on yet, but it's all ready to go, bolted up together. All right, guys, looks like I got my package today. Integrated engineering, nice packaging, stickers. That's the supercharger pulley. Just wanted to show the packaging before I open it. Really looks nice. And I got the belt, obviously. Alrighty, to be continued. So here's the product. The bolts, haven't opened that yet. But here's the supercharger pulley. It's a lot smaller than the original one, the factory one. Let me find my factory one here. Here's the factory one. There's the upgraded stage 2. And there's the crank pulley. Very light, goes right on top of the old pulley, and the bolts will go just around it. Yeah, that's about it. It's just this one is really oily. Not sure why. Just for maybe it's the grease. Just slide it on or whatnot. But I'm obviously going to heat it. Got my toaster oven here. The supercharger. So we'll work on the crank pulley first, and then we'll work on the supercharger while it's heating up. Alrighty, I'll be back. Alrighty, guys, so here's the progress. It's almost 11 o'clock at night. Been working at it with the wifey here. She's been helping me a lot. So this is the result so far. Got the catch can from ECS Tuning all installed, as well as the IE integrated engineering cold air with the pulleys, integrated engineering pulley, double pulley. So you got the crank and the supercharger pulley with the belt. So last thing is left is tomorrow put the bumper back on, reflash the system, stage 3 tune it, or stage 2, whatever they call that, and should be ready for a road test. So excited. So this is the update so far. Got everything back together. The bumper, the wheels are on. The last thing is left to do is fill up coolant with my Schwaben tool that I have, and then we'll be able to start her up. And also I'm just checking for codes, see if there's any codes. Obviously there's no coolant, so it is telling me long coolant, but I'm just doing a quick scan, resetting my service history, service record, the service interval, so it doesn't beep at me. Just scanning to see if there's any abnormal codes that popped up from last scan, and then after that I'll do a quick coolant fill in, suck all the air out and then fill it with coolant, and then we'll be good to go to flash the system with the stage 2 tune, which stay tuned and I will take a video of it. Fairly easy, pretty straightforward. The integrated engineering, it's pretty simple to use. So, but it's looking really good. I'm really happy with the results. Can't wait to get this started. All right, guys. So here's the integrated engineering. I'll go and tune that. Okay, program. Yeah, the car is on charge. Ignition is on. Oh, gotta plug it in. Alrighty. So it's got the 93 octane stage 1, latest flash. Let's go engine, double pulley, 93 octane. We already have the 200 credits. Yeah. All right. That's just normal. All the faults will come up. Don't panic. That's just normal. Tire pressure system. That's right. Yup. So once it's complete, it just takes a few minutes, not even. It's like it's only gonna take a minute. It's gonna tell us to shut it off and turn it back on. Ignition off. Ignition is off, yes. Okay, ignition on. Ignition is on. There you go. That's it. Congratulations. You have successfully flashed your car. Now go have some fun. Once you're ready for more, check out some recommended products for below. Awesome. That's just coolant. Still have to top up the coolant. Ready to go. This is where the leak is coming from, bro. Can't fucking believe it. Fucking O-ring. That's why the tool wasn't working. As soon as I started, fucking coolant started dripping from here. Looking down below, I'm like, why do I have so much cooling on the floor? And very odd. So I looked under and I see the just leaking under the hose here. So did replace this new pipe, but didn't replace the O-ring on here. So that's what you get. Alright guys, so the update is finally got a new O-ring for my upper rad hose when I changed the cross pipe. I did ask if I should replace the O-ring. He says it should be fine. Maybe when I put it on I rolled it, or maybe it was just too old. So got a new one. I kind of explain why my Schwaben tool wasn't working yesterday. It was losing pressure. So finally replaced that O-ring and tested the Schwaben tool, and it actually worked really amazing. Got to minus 22 I think degrees. Vacuum with the on low fan. The fan was on with the ignition, and let it sit after for a couple minutes. It stabilized, and after closed the intermediate valve and the Venturi valve, and it didn't lose any pressure, and then proceed to fill up with coolant. Fill it up with coolant. It went overfill a little bit. I just took turkey base and suck out all the coolant out of it just to get it to max, and we'll give it a start. I just had the battery on charge It's fully charged, so I don't need that no more. Okay. All right, guys, so here's the first initial start. After everything is completed, all right, let's give this a try. Woo! Running nice. Idle's fine. No rough idles. Let her run for a bit, and we'll see how that goes. Gonna check, make sure there's no coolant leak anywhere, and go from there. Excellent. Yeah, she's running. So let's see, there's no lights on the dash. Everything is good. Everything seems to be fine. Idle is good. No rough idle. There's no smoke coming out after I cleaned the carbon off. It's just a little bit, you can see. Yeah, if I rev it. Looks good. Really happy. Let's see what we get for codes. I also want to see my heat. How's my heat blowing for after purging the system? Make sure we got good heat in there. So I'll let the scan do its magic, and I'll get back to it.
Hi. That is so sick.
That's insane.
I know. No, I know I showed us because